Good morning. If you can hear me, good to see you. I need to go get my tea and just get set up. So get yourself comfy. And if you want to grab something to drink or put on some music in your own background, go right ahead. Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for being here. So everybody is automatically muted when you come in. Good morning, Steph. So you can either unmute for a couple minutes if we want to chat, or you can type in the chat window. But if there are any special requests or anything that you would like to work on today, good morning, welcome. Definitely speak up and say so. Let me know if there are any particular yoga poses that you love, any breathing, pranayama, breath work exercises you want to do, or any part of your body that could use just a little bit of extra attention today. So again, everyone is automatically muted. If you have something to say, go ahead and unmute. If you have nothing to say and you just trust whatever wonderful yoga journey I'm going to take you on today, then I thank you for that trust. And I'm just kind of figuring out my technology on this side. Hang on. Also, can we do a quick audio check? So these little headphones that you see me wearing are very inconsistent. Unfortunately, sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. So when I move back away from my computer, is the sound the same or do I get quieter when I move back? I'm hoping that the sound is the same. Am I seeing a thumbs up over there? It's good? We got some good audio? Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. So we got about another minute to go before we'll see if anybody else wants to join us. One more request, if anybody wants to make any requests. Otherwise, this is a slow flow yoga class. So flow yoga means we're gonna be moving pretty much the whole time. We do some longer holds, but the focus is definitely on synchronizing breath with movement. I pride myself on not doing anything frenetic. So there's not gonna be a whole lot of jumping around or quick, crazy movements. All right, so that said, let's go ahead and get onto our mats. And if you want any music in your background, you are welcome to go ahead and add that. I don't put music in my background because, again, I'm really not tech savvy enough to figure out how to do that without it being too loud or being distracting. So we're gonna start today in a child's pose. So we can go ahead and, just gotta make one more adjustment here. Come onto hands and knees on your mat. And then you are welcome to open up the knees if that feels good for you. And let the rib cage drop down in between as you sit back on the feet, extending the arms forward, bringing the forehead to the mat. Now, alternatively, you might prefer to keep the knees together so that your chest is resting on your knees. So that's always an option as well. And when I first come into this pose, I like to move a little bit. So I like to rock slowly and gently side to side, sway the hips almost like I'm wagging my tail in slow motion, let the forehead roll side to side on the mat, and just let any little wiggles out of the body before coming into stillness. And once we are here, we can start to focus on the breath. So breath is this amazing, powerful tool that we have available to us. We do it all day long without even realizing it. But when we give it our conscious focus and intention, we can really utilize this breath to increase the benefits to the body. So it helps us slow the heart rate, and lower our blood pressure, calm the nervous system overall, oxygenate our cells. So let's go ahead and focus on the nostrils as we breathe in. And then open the mouth or exhale through the nostrils, breathing out. So always nostrils in. And then your choice, nostrils or mouth out. And when we exhale, this is where we're releasing muscular tension in the body. So every inhalation kind of sets us up for this opportunity when we exhale to let more tension go, to become a little more relaxed, to become heavier here on the ground. And everything that has happened already this morning is going to stay where it is in the past. Everything that's going to happen later this morning will stay where it is in the future. And we can all set an intention for ourselves to stay present, to stay right here, right now, in this present moment. I mean, truly, life is just a series of present moments, right? So let's stay focused on our breath, our movement, our presence. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. So we can take this child's pose and turn it into a side stretch. So we can lift the gaze to look up toward the hands and start to slide the right hand over to the right till it comes off the mat, and then bring the left hand on top of it. You can drop your head back down again in this new position. So now hands are over to the right, and you may feel some stretch on the left side of the body as you sit your hips back. And you can move those hands as far to the right as you would like to get the best possible stretch on the left. Breathing in and breathing out. And when you're ready, you can feel free to lift the head, look up toward the hands, and then we'll slide the other way. So now the left hand comes off the mat to the left. The right hand is on top, and we'll nestle the head right back down again in between. Breathing in and breathing out. Again, getting a little bit heavier every time you exhale. The breath is a constant rhythm for us now, no matter what the body is doing. Breath is like ocean waves, ebbing and flowing. And as we come back to center, we can extend the arms fully so the elbows are lifted off the mat. And then start to rise up on hands and knees. We'll take a deep breath in here and exhale, sit back into that child's pose. So now we're synchronizing a little bit of movement with breath. We'll inhale, come on up. Maybe the hips drop down a little further, like a plank on our knees, and exhale all the way back into child's pose. And we can take it a little deeper each time if we choose. Inhale, come on up. Maybe the hips come all the way down like an upward facing dog, and exhale, the hips will lift back into that child's pose. And again, only go as far as feels right for you. This time, maybe we take it to swan. We drop the hips and lift the feet with toes touching and exhale back. So I'm offering all these different options. It's really up to you to do what feels right for you. So again, coming forward, maybe we lift the head, gazing up, opening the chest, exhaling back into that child's pose. And one more time, inhaling, coming forward only as far as feels right for you. Exhaling back into child's pose. Now we can rise up onto hands and knees and shift the knees slightly inward so that they're directly under the hips. So there's still a little space between the knees, and the hands can shift back so the wrists are underneath the shoulders. Looking down at your hands, maybe spreading the fingers a little bit wider and flattening out the palms. We can start to tuck the toes under and drop the belly as we arch the spine. Inhaling, gazing up for cow pose. And exhaling, pushing the spine to the ceiling, rounding the back. Again, inhaling, tucking the toes, gazing up. And exhaling, rounding the back and looking in. So I know I'm wearing a big floppy shirt. It's kind of hard to see my abdominals, but the belly is dropping as we look up, breathing in. And then the belly button is pulling in up toward the spine as we push spine to the ceiling, breathing out. One more time, inhaling, arching, gazing up. And exhaling, rounding the back, gazing inward. Good. As we come to center with a flat back position, we can kind of tap the tops of the feet onto the mat. And then coming back to center, our gaze, our drishti, is right between the hands. So you can feel the top of the head lengthening forward. The neck is straight and parallel with the ground. Now we're going to add on to that cat and cow movement by lifting the right leg up as we inhale and gaze up. And exhale, round the back and pull the knee in toward the chest, bringing the nose toward the knee. Inhaling, lifting the leg, gazing up. And that leg only needs to lift as far as feels good for you. Exhaling, pulling in, pushing the spine up toward the ceiling. Inhaling, leg lifts, the gaze lifts, the spine arches. Exhale, pressing spine to ceiling now, nose and knee come toward one another. And one more time, inhaling, opening up, and exhaling, contracting and pulling in. And as we drop that knee back down, my wrists already need a little bit of attention, so you might like to sway the hips side to side, kind of shake out the hands a little bit. You could always also come into fists if that feels better on your wrists. And now we'll extend that left leg up, looking up, deep breath in. Exhale, spine to the ceiling, nose and knee come toward one another. Inhale, we'll press it back and lift, looking up. And exhale, drawing in, nose toward knee, rounded back. Two more times. Inhale, we'll extend up, lift, opening up the front body. And exhale, contracting in the front, broadening through the back. One more time. Inhale, we'll press up, lift, looking up. And exhale, drawing in. Good. Dropping that knee back down. We can tap out the feet a little bit, maybe shake out the wrists one more time. And then looking down at the hands, we can step them one handprint forward. So coming forward on the mat, now we are ready to rise up into downward facing dog. So tucking the toes, lifting the hips and pressing back. And as you press into those hands and the hips reach up and back, let's let the head drop. So your gaze point, your drishti, is now between your feet. And I really like to bend and straighten alternate knees when I'm here walking the dog. So you can feel the stretch in one calf and then the other. I know we have one student in the class today who has told me he's got some real tight calves. So hopefully this is feeling great as we drop one heel down and bend the other knee and then alternate. And let's make sure the head and neck are relaxed by shaking the head no, nodding the head yes. And if at any point you feel like this is too much of a strain on the upper body, remember, your knees are right beneath you. The ground is right here. You can always drop down onto hands and knees. Long, slow breaths. And then when we're ready, we can start to shift the weight forward, coming into a plank pose. So a deep breath in as we come into plank, and a deep breath out as we press back into down dog. And remember, plank can also be done on the knees. So we can come to plank, deep breath in, and maybe we come back like a child's pose instead. So here's another variation if that down dog and plank feels like too much. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, pressing back. And one more time, coming forward, deep breath in. This time we're going to change it. Option to drop the knees and lower down. The elbows are hugging in against the ribs. And once the belly's on the ground, we can roll the shoulders back. Deep breath in, little lift cobra. So notice shoulders are not shrugging by the ears. They're nice and low. And then exhale, we'll roll over the knees, come into a brief child's pose. So the hips are back on the feet, arms are extended forward. This sets you up perfectly for your downward facing dog. So when we're ready, we can come back up on the knees, tuck the toes, rise up and press it back. So again, if you're more comfortable dropping down to the knees, you can always stay there. Feet together at the back of the mat. If you're on your knees, it's knees together at the back of the mat. And now we'll inhale the right leg up and shifting forward to plank, exhaling, bringing right knee into the chest. So we're building on those movements we were doing before. Pressing back, three-legged dog. The head drops, the leg lifts. Exhaling, forward plank. Now we're looking between the hands, right knee to the chest. Two more times. Inhale, let's press it back and lift. If you want to drop that left knee on the ground at any time, feel free. Exhale, forward, knee to the chest. And one more time. Inhale, pressing back. This time we're going to bring that foot between the hands. And if it doesn't get there all the way, grab your right ankle, lift it up and place it forward as we drop the back knee. So looking down at this front leg, the ankle is underneath the knee. We're in a lunge position. I find I need to lift up on the fingertips at this point. If you have yoga blocks, you could always bring those under the hands as well. And we could take a moment here to just kind of rock forward and back, forward and back, and really feel the stretch in the front of your left hip. Long, slow breath. So again, ankle under knee. If your knee is way past your ankle, let's scoot that foot a little further forward. And then grounding down through the left hand, you can come to the fist, you can come to the palm. We'll take a twist with the right arm up. An option to keep that back knee on the ground, or we can tuck the toes and lift the knee. Now I like to bring a little movement to my upper arm, so feel free to draw some semicircles here or circle through the wrist if that feels good. Breathing in and breathing out. Coming back to center. If the knee is down, let's go ahead and tuck the toes, lift it up and slide back. Plank position. Deep breath in here in plank. Exhale as we lower down, you can drop the knees and let the elbows hug in. So this is very different than a push-up. Elbows are against the body. Deep breath in, little lift, cobra. Again, shoulders back, elbows in. This time we'll exhale, come right over the toes, back into our downward facing dog. And again, option to be on the knees if you prefer. If you're on the toes, toes together at the back of the mat, otherwise knees together. And then inhaling, left leg lifts. Exhale, shifting forward like plank, and the knee comes to the chest. Good. Really get those shoulders over the wrists if you can. Pressing back, lifting, three-legged dog. Inhale. We're looking at that foot that's still on the ground. And then exhale, forward, shoulders over wrists, knee to chest, looking between the hands. 2 more times. Inhale. Let's press it back. Lift. Strong arms here. Exhale, forward, knee to the chest. 1 more time. Inhale. We'll press back and lift. This time we're guiding the foot between the hands. Again, wherever it goes, you can grab the ankle, readjust as you place it down and drop that back knee. I need to lift up on fingertips here. My hips are feeling pretty tight today. And then we can kind of shift forward and back, just exploring those sensations that you're feeling in the front of the right hip and deciding how far you want to let the hips drop. So really feel. There's a word for this, interoception, what we feel inside the body. Sometimes closing the eyes helps. Determine where you need to go with the hips to get a good deep stretch without pain. Once you're there, right hand, either palm flat, fist, whatever's comfortable, and then bringing left arm up for a twist. Option to keep back knee on the ground, or we can tuck the toes and lift that knee if that feels good for you. As we turn the head to look up, we're strengthening the neck, working against gravity. You could always look down if you prefer. And again, invitation for movement in that left arm or the wrist, if that feels right for you. Breathing in, breathing out. So I can feel my breath is trying to get away from me. I can feel the effort here. So really keeping that breath rhythmic and even. Let's drop the left hand, slide it back for plank. Deep breath in. Remember, you can be on the knees if you prefer. And then exhaling, knees drop, slowly lowering chest and chin. This time, how about we try moving those hands back an inch or two and push into the hands for a bigger lift, upward facing dog. Shoulders back, so no shruggy shoulders here, really pushing down. Inhale, let's gaze up. Exhale, child's pose. Knees can open as you sit back on the feet, or we can bring the knees together. Arms can be extended in front, or maybe you'd like to try the seashell variation with the arms around your sides and the shoulders dropping down. Any other variation that you like. I see some students extending forward, bending at the elbows, and I see palms together with thumbs at the back of the neck. If you're in this variation, feel free to inch the elbows a little further forward and see how that feels on your shoulders. So again, lots of variations here. This is your yoga practice, so feel free to customize it as feels right for you. I'm here as a guide, just offering what I have to offer. You take what works and leave the rest. One more deep breath in and out. And then looking up at the hands, arms can extend fully. So whatever variation you were in here, let's extend those arms, rise back up, downward facing dog. We're transitioning our way to standing. So gazing forward at the hands, deep breath in. We can tiptoe or step up to the front of the mat as we breathe out. With a half lift, we'll inhale, lengthen, nice flat back, looking forward, and exhale, fold down. Rising up, it's like a reverse swan dive as we bring the arms out and up, coming all the way up, looking up, and exhaling, palms together in front of the heart. Good. So making our way to the front of the mat, we'll do a couple of sun salutations just to keep that movement in the body. Big toes touching, heels very slightly apart. So when you look down at your feet, the feet almost look like a box, and the outer edges of the feet are parallel with the outer edges of your mat. As we inhale, we can bring the arms out and up, reaching up, really lengthening through the fingers, and exhaling, folding forward into that swan dive. Half lift, lengthening the back, looking forward. We'll exhale and step back to a plank position. Remember, you can always drop to the knees if you prefer. We'll stay here in plank for a deep breath in, and then lower down, option to drop the knees, elbows hugging in. So we've already done this movement a couple times. Either a little lift cobra, inhale, or bigger lift upward facing dog. Exhaling, tucking the toes, back downward facing dog.
Option to pedal out the feet, bending and straightening alternate knees, or maybe you want to drop to the knees for a child's pose if you feel like you need a little rest. If you're up and down dog, feel free to shake out the head and the neck. Nodding yes, shaking no.
And then looking forward, deep breath in. Tiptoe or step to the front of the mat as you breathe out. Half lift, breathing in, lengthening. Exhaling, folding down. Arms sweeping outward and upward. Inhale. Palms together in front of the heart. Exhale. So that was the sun salutation A sequence. Now we're going to try the sun salutation B. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. We'll inhale, arms out and up like we did before, but this time we're going to sit back in awkward chair pose. So here in awkward chair, we're really reaching the hips back. It's more than just bending the knees. We want to move the hips back so that the knees are over the ankles, and as we look down, we can see our toes. The arms are lifting, and to prevent any overarching in the low back, the navel is pulled up into the spine. We'll take a deep breath in here, palms together, exhale, straight legs and fold. Half lift as we lengthen the back, inhale. Just like before, exhale, stepping back, plank position. A deep breath in here in high plank, and exhaling, lowering down. So this part's the same. Inhale, opening the chest, either cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Here's where it changes. Feet together at the back of the mat. Right leg lifts, deep breath in. Stepping that foot forward, breathing out. And again, you can grab the ankle, place the foot forward. We're going to move this foot outward to the right and spin the back heel down so the foot comes flat. With hips facing forward, rising up, warrior one pose. So my hips are facing forward. This right hip is pulled back, left hip forward, and the back foot is flat. It may feel a little awkward in your hips. Deep breath in. And exhaling, coming right back down again. I'm going to move that foot a little to center so I can plant my hands and slide back to plank. Deep breath in, high plank. Breathing out, knees drop. Slowly lowering down. Lifting the chest, inhale, shoulders back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Feet together at the back of the mat, left leg lifts, deep breath in. Stepping this foot forward with any assistance from the left hand to get ankle under knee, and then shifting that foot to the left. The right heel spins down, and we'll inhale, come on up on this side. Left hip pulling back, outer right foot firmly planted. Deep breath in, gazing up, reaching up. Exhaling, folding forward, framing the foot with the hands. Again, I need to move my foot inward a little bit. And then take it to plank. Deep breath in, high plank. Option to drop the knees. Exhale, slowly lower. A little lift. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Let's take it to child's pose. Exhaling. And if you feel like you don't need a little rest right now and you want more movement, you can move through plank and down dog. So we can inhale plank, exhale back down dog, and continue moving that way. Me, I'm going to take child's for a couple of breaths. I need to catch my breath because I'm doing a lot of talking right now. Breathing in through the nose and opening my mouth to release. So opening the mouth to exhale is going to release more heat from the body. If you want to keep that heat in the body to help detoxify, maybe help you be a little bit more limber, you can always close the lips. Good. When we're ready, rising up, one more downward facing dog. We're going to come back up to standing. This time we'll bend the knees and start to walk the hands back toward the feet until you're in a forward fold position at the back of your mat. Knees can be bent if you're real tight in the hamstrings. Arms can hang, or you could fold up the arms and hug opposite elbows. Feel free to bring any movement here
that feels good to you. Maybe you want to sway the body gently from side to side. Maybe you want to shake out the head and the neck. Sometimes I like to bend one knee and then the other knee, and I find that this lower body movement affects the upper body as well, and it helps me kind of sway and twist. One more deep, slow breath in and out. And then letting the arms drop like a rag doll. Feet are hip distance now. Let's slowly begin to roll upright, stacking one vertebra on top of the last. Good. Feel free to take your time here. When you're finally fully upright, we can start to roll the shoulders back, opening up the chest. So shoulders forward, up, back and down. And then fingertips to the shoulders. We can start to circle the elbows. Breathing in, breathing out. And then the biggest range of motion now, circling straight arms back, either arms together, or maybe we want to do one at a time, see how that feels. Good. And when you are ready, feel free to drop those arms down, and with a soft bend to the knees, imagine the arms are floppy, like loose, overcooked spaghetti. And as we swirl from side to side, we'll let our loose, limp arms just tap, tap, tap against the ribs and the belly. And most of us are not accustomed to this level of muscular release, so really let them flop. Floppy, floppy arms. Deep breath in and out. Good. As we come back to center, we can inhale, arms out and up, really rooting through the feet, reaching up. My abdominals are pulled in nice and tight. Exhale, lengthening through the arms, pressing down and tipping chin to the chest. Inhale, reaching out and up one more time. Feel those feet pressing down as the fingers reach up. Exhale, pressing down, chin to chest. This time we'll inhale, bring the arms out and up, and only the right arm will drop as we come into a right side bend. Good. And as we reach the upper arm over, that lower arm can slide further down. Option to stay here with that lower arm down, or we can lift it up, grab the upper wrist and pull a little bit further if that feels good for you. Now stay with the breath here. It's a lot harder to breathe in a side bend. We're compressed in one lung and really open in the other. When you're ready, inhale, come on up. Left arm can drop. And we'll exhale into that left side bend. And again, whichever variation you choose, the arm can stay down, you can bring it up and pull. Maybe you do this for a breath and then you decide, meh, I don't really like it, I want to drop it down. Long, slow breathing, maybe guiding the breath into that right side body. And then as we come back up, deep breath in, we're going to guide the hands behind us. I'm going to turn sideways just to demonstrate. So my hands are above the buttocks but below the low back, and my elbows are squeezing back. Deep breath in as I gaze up to the ceiling. Abdominals are pulled in. Exhale, little soft bend to the knees. I'm going to push the hips forward and lean back. And I can keep a strong neck here looking up with the top of the head pressing back, or if it's available, you can let the head drop all the way back and open the mouth. When you're ready, coming up, deep breath in. Let's take a counter pose, forward fold, breathing out. So I like to bend my knees here in a forward fold because I feel more in the lower back when I do that. When the legs are straight, you're going to feel more in the backs of the thighs. So you decide. If you're working on hamstring stretching, maybe work on straightening those legs. If you like that low back sensation, feel free to bend the knees. You could even rest your elbows on your knees with knees bent and let the head drop. Another option. We'll take one more deep breath in and out. Dropping the arms down, let's slide up for a half lift. Inhale with a flat back looking forward. Exhale, folding down. Arms sweep out and up, strong flat back, tight core. Inhale and exhale, palms together and in front of the heart. So we're at about the halfway point. I'm feeling inspired to take a little sip of my
herbal hot cocoa. So if you have water or you have anything else that you would like to drink, feel free to take a sip. Just keep the breath energy up. Breathing in and out. And if you're curious to know what herbs I put in my hot cocoa, feel free to stick around after class. I'll tell you all about it. All right, so it's time for some balancing. So you can stay on the mat. You can come off the mat onto a more solid surface. I've got a wood floor over here, but I'm going to stay on the squishy mat. I'm going to increase my challenge a little bit. Couple of components that are really important for balancing. The abdominals and the pelvic floor are pulled in tight. So in Sanskrit, the abdominal lock is the Udayana Bandha. The belly button pulls back in toward the spine. The root lock, the Mula Bandha, it's kind of like your pee stopping muscle if you were stopping a stream of pee midstream, pulling up. So we've got all this abdominal engagement, all this pelvic floor engagement. Feet are hip distance. We'll inhale, arms open, and exhale, hands to hips. So now that we're rooted through the feet, we've got our locks engaged, let's focus our drishti, our gaze point, about 6 feet in front of us on the floor. As we shift into the left foot, excuse me, as our standing leg, we can lift the right foot an inch off the ground, just find our balance here, feel how the standing leg wiggles and wobbles, and if you would like to extend arms out for counterbalance, feel free. Then we're gonna start lifting this right knee up, and you can take the right hand to the front of the knee or under the thigh to lift it up. Left arm can be extended, or you can keep the hand to the hip, and the spine is straight, so we're not leaning toward the leg, we're pulling the leg up towards us. We can start to circle through the right ankle one way, and then the other way. And since we have many different levels here, you can hold onto a wall if that feels better for you, or if you would like to take a more advanced version, first 3 fingers of the right hand can wrap around the right big toe, you can extend that leg straight. So again, different levels, different options. Whether you're holding knee or toe, you can inhale and start to open this right knee out to the side. And again, don't be shy. If you need a wall to hold on to with that left hand or a chair, absolutely fine. We'll take one more deep breath in and out. Slowly bringing this right knee back to center. We're not quite done yet. For extra support, hands under the thigh. For more challenge, arms out or hands to the hips. Let's extend that leg forward. Deep breath in. And slowly lower down. Nice work. Let's shake it all out. Standing leg. Wow, I can really feel all those muscles working up to the glute from the toes. So tiny little stabilizer muscles, micro adjusting as we balance. We got another leg. Let's go for it. So feet hip distance apart. Locks pulled in. Udayana Bandha, abdominal lock. Mula Bandha, root lock, pulling up. Inhale, arms open. Exhale, hands to the hips. Let's find our focal point, drishti on the ground, about 6 feet in front. Now it's the right leg that's the standing leg. We can bring that left foot an inch off the ground. I like my arms out for counterbalance. It's also a great strengthener for the shoulders, but you can keep hands in if you choose. When you're ready, we'll start to lift that left knee. Left hand either to the front of the knee, pulling up, or under the thigh. The right hand can be against a wall. Circling through that left ankle, breathing in, breathing out. Good. Option to take first 3 fingers around the big toe and extend the leg out, or you can hold on to the knee. Inhaling, we're gonna open that leg out to the left. Long, slow breaths. We'll give it one more deep breath in, really feeling that standing leg, making any wiggly adjustments it needs to. And slowly bringing leg to center. We're not quite done yet. Feel free to take hands under the thigh, hands to hips, arms open, and extend that leg forward. Deep breath in. Exhale, lower down. Good. Let's shake it out. Shaking arms, shaking legs. I got the gardener outside, so I'm just going to take a peek, see what they're up to. All right. So we're gonna come into some wide-legged poses. So wherever you need to rearrange, my mat is already this way. So I'm gonna open up my legs nice and wide, open up the arms. Ideally, and I mean, really, when in life do we actually hit our ideals? But we're working towards getting the ankles under the wrists. For some people, that's never gonna happen. I have one student who's like 6'6" and his legs are, I mean, so long. So that's not possible for him. So you decide, again, that interoception, how does it feel? Is it painful to have things this open? If so, shift it in just a little. Right foot turns out 90 degrees, so it's pointing away to the right. Left foot turns slightly in, but the hips stay pointing forward. As we drop into that right knee and bend, we're coming into warrior two pose. And the feet are aligned as though they're on a tightrope. So we're in the same line here. The front knee is falling inward, that right knee, let's press it out toward the pinky toe side of the foot, and we can turn the head and look over the right hand. Let's hold this warrior two, breathing for 3. Pulling in our locks, breathing for 2. Really reaching through the fingertips in opposite directions, breathing for 1. Good, now we'll inhale, reach to the right, palm flips up, exhale, peaceful warrior, as we reverse back. So the left hand can rest on the leg, right arm up and over. You can take that lower arm option to wrap it behind the back if you choose, or you can reach up and pull that right arm a little bit further to the left. So lots of variations here. We'll take one more deep breath in and out. Rising back up, deep breath in, reaching to the right. We'll exhale, forearm to knee, left arm up and over. So feel interocept, that straight line from left fingertips all the way down to the left ankle. Maybe you'd like to push that upper arm and the back of the head back, feeling a deeper stretch through the ribs under the arm. One more breath here, in and out. And we're gonna bring a little movement here. We'll move through both of those poses with the breath. So inhale, come up, reach forward. Palm up, exhale, arch back. Inhale, come on up, reach forward. Exhale, elbow to knee, left arm over. Good, again, let's inhale, come on up, reach to the right. Exhale, press it back. Inhale, come on up, reach right. Exhale, forearm to knee, left arm over. Yes, I feel my right thigh as well. Inhale, come on up, reach to the right. Palm up, let's arch it back. Last one, inhale, reach to the right. Forearm to knee, reach up and over. Good, let's come on up, straight legs. If you need to give a little attention to that right thigh, you can kind of pat it out. Then feet parallel, hands to the hips. Forward fold, arching back. We'll inhale, gaze up. Exhale, I like to bend the knees a little bit, folding forward, reaching for the ground. We can let the head and neck drop. If the ground seems really far away, feel free to bend the knees. If you have yoga blocks or any other object you can place under the hands, feel free to do that. Or for some who are really tight in the hamstrings, it might be helpful to even take a chair and fold forward, resting either hands on the chair or forearms on the chair. So that's always an option as well. I know we have one student here, tight hamstrings, tight calves. So that's a great variation. Head and neck are relaxed. You can shake the head no, nod the head yes. Maybe lift the toes, wiggle them, make sure they're not gripping, spread them out, and place them down again. There goes my chair. Bam. All right. And when we're ready, taking one more deep breath in and out. We can half lift, look forward. Strong flat back here. Your locks are pulled in, so we're up on fingertips looking forward. With this strong flat back, hands to the hips, little soft bend to the knees, and slowly rising up, strong flat back. All right, we got another leg, so let's turn that left foot out. Right foot turns in, arms extend, bending into the left knee. Warrior two on this side. Again, if the knee is collapsing inward, let's press it outward toward the pinky toe side of the foot. Shoulders roll back and down. Looking over left hand, breathing for 3. Breathing for 2. Breathing for 1. Inhale, let's reach to the left, palm flips up. Exhale, we'll arch it back. So that bend in the knee has not changed. Only the upper body has changed. Option to take right arm wrap behind the back, or reach up, grab left wrist, and pull over. Lots of variations here. One more deep breath in and out. Keeping the bend in the knee, we'll inhale, come on up, reach left, forearm to knee. Right arm up and over. Option to take that upper arm and the back of the head and press back. I feel a deep stretch under my arm, through the side body and down into my right hip. One more deep breath in. Looking down, we'll exhale. So now we move with the breath. Inhale, come on up, reach left. Palm up, exhale, arch back. Bend in the knee stays the same. Inhale, come on up, reach left. Exhale, forearm to knee, right arm over. Inhale, come on up, reach left. Palm up, exhale, arch back. And inhale, come up, reach left. Exhale, forearm to knee, right arm over. Good. Let's go ahead and come on up. Straighten out that leg. I got a cute little kitten beneath me. We'll take a kitten pause. You can always pat out that thigh muscle, then feet parallel once again. Inhale, arms open. Exhale, hands to hips. Arching back, inhale, gaze up, maybe a soft bend to the knees as we fold forward once again. This time we'll add a twist. So coming up on fingertips, looking forward, deep breath in. Remember, knees can be bent here. We'll walk the hands to the right. Leave the left hand here and inhale, right arm up for a twist. Long, slow breaths. You can hear the dude blowing the leaves in the backyard. I'm so grateful he's here. I'm gonna have a beautiful backyard to play in later. Upper arm can either stay extended or you can fold it behind the back. Deep breath in and out. Good. Reaching up with that arm, inhale, we'll come back to center, exhale, and walk the hands to the left now. Right hand stays on the ground, inhale, left arm up. And one or both knees can be bent here. Upper arm can stay extended, or you can reach that arm back behind you. Pressing that left shoulder back, maybe we turn the head, look up a little further. And if the arm is folded, deep breath in, reaching up, exhale, folding back to center. We can shake the head no, nod the head yes. And then up on fingertips, half lift, look forward. Again, strong flat back, locks engaged. Little bend to the knees as we take hands to hips, and with that strong flat back, rising up. Nice work. Releasing the arms. We can move the feet in, heels, toes, heels, toes. When the feet are hip distance apart, maybe swirling the body side to side again with those loose, floppy arms tapping against you. Deep breath in, and make sure to keep the knees slightly bent when we do this to protect those knee joints. One more deep breath in and out. Okay, my kitten, that is not a great place to hang out. Love you, sweetie, but let's move along. All right, we're gonna come up to the front of the mat, make our way down with a sun salutation. So big toes touching, heels slightly apart, hands together in front of the heart. Deep breath in, arms out and up. Exhale as we hinge forward and fold. Half lift, lengthening the back, inhale. Stepping it back, plank position, exhale. Stay here, deep breath in. Option to drop the knees, slowly lower chest and chin. Little lift cobra, inhale. Exhale back, either
child's pose, or downward facing dog. And then we're going to come to a seated position. So you can drop to the knees, swing the legs around,
extend them in front, bring a little bounce to your knees. Deep breath in and out. Good. Right foot comes to the inside of the left thigh. Left foot centers with the middle of the chest. Flexing that extended foot, let's sit up nice and tall. So really lengthen up, deep breath in, reaching up. Exhale, forward fold. Now your hands can rest wherever they are comfortable on that leg. Head and neck drop. You can even take the hands on the ground next to the leg, and we're keeping those toes flexed. So if it is an easy reach for the foot, feel free to grab it. If it's not, just hold the leg wherever it makes sense. Notice where the shoulders are. If they're shrugging, press them back. One more deep breath in and out. So I'm going to turn sideways to demonstrate our next pose. As we inhale, come on up, right arm up and back behind you. Fingers pointed back. Left toes point. And we're going to come up onto that right knee, bringing the left arm up and over, pushing the hips up to the ceiling, letting the head drop back. Deep breath in. Exhale, coming back down. Both legs extend. Little bouncy movement to the knees. And we can take that left foot to the inside of the right thigh as we center right foot with the chest and flex. Sitting up even taller, really lengthening through the spine. Inhale, reach up. And we'll exhale, hinge at the hips and fold. And again, just letting the hands drop wherever it feels comfortable. As you inhale, the top of the head might lengthen forward. So you might feel some length in the upper body. As you exhale, maybe the chest comes a millimeter closer to the legs, shoulders are back, and the head is relaxed. Let's keep those right toes flexed. One more breath in and out. And then rising up, deep breath in, left arm up and over, placing it behind you as you exhale, pointing right toes. We're coming up on the bent knee. Inhale, lift up, reach up and over, pushing hips up and forward, letting the head drop back. We'll take one more breath here in and exhale, slowly lower down. Good. Legs extend, little bounce to the knees. Checking my time here. All right. So making sure that we've got room on the mat behind us so we can recline. We'll keep the knees bent and extend the arms out. So the heels are going to stay planted here. Deep breath in. Then rounding the back, we'll exhale and begin a very slow descent to the ground. Now, if you want more, you could always inhale, lift up an inch, and exhale, keep going. And then we're going to try not to rush around the shoulder blades. This is where it gets really good. If you're shaking, you know you're doing it right. Slowly making your way down to recline, letting the arms come up above the head to the ground above you, and extending the legs down. Full body stretch. Deep breath in. And sigh it out. Made it to the floor. But we're not quite done yet. So hugging knees up into the chest. Little gentle rocking motion side to side. So we did a lot of core work with all the planks that we did today, but I really love me some core work with my back on the ground as well. So we'll do just a couple of abdominal strengtheners before we start to cool it down. So this is one of my favorites because it's really customizable. You can make it really challenging or not so challenging. So from the knees in the chest position, we're going to push the knees back a little bit so that they're directly over the hips. And then we'll lift the feet up so the shins are parallel to the ground. So if you think about it, you've got a right angle at your belly and a right angle under the knees. We can take arms to our sides and push the low back into the mat. And you may already feel the lower abdominals working here. So option one would be to stay right here. Option two would be to take the hands right above the knees on the lower part of the thighs and start to push the knees away as the knees push back, giving counter pressure. Now you may feel even more in the lower abdominals, and we're keeping that low back planted. You want more still? We can lift head, neck, and shoulder blades off the mat. And again, how intensely you push is up to you. So you could push really hard and let those knees push back, or you can push like 30%. Depends on how you feel today. So let's stay here, breathing for 3. I'm already shaking here. Breathing for 2. Let's soften up the facial expression if it's really concentrated. And breathing for 1. Dropping the head down, knees to the chest. Let's rock it out gently side to side. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. So one more for the abdominals. Arms at your sides. You can either keep them right next to you, or you can slide them out a little and hold on to the outer edges of the mat, or you can bring them slightly under you so the thumbs are kind of underneath your hips. We'll extend the legs up, deep breath in. Low back stays pushing down, deep breath out, legs come to 45. Deep breath in, legs lift up, and if your hamstrings are tight, knees can be bent a little bit. Exhale, let's lower to 30 degrees. Inhale, come on up. Back to 45, exhale. Inhale, legs up. Exhale to 30. And if this feels too intense, you can alternate legs. So you could bring one leg down to 45, and then bring the other leg to 45. Inhale here, up. Exhale, let's take the legs to 45. Hold here for 3. So again, you can alternate legs, breath to breath. Breathing for 2. Pushing that low back down, relaxing the face and the jaw. Breathing for 1. Good, knees to the chest. Let's hug it in and rock gently side to side. Good. So hip openers are great for the lower back, because I'm already feeling a little something in my low back after that. I've been moving a lot of stuff up and down in my attic, and my lower back is not happy with me. So this is a great way to keep yourself with good spinal integrity. We'll open up the knees. I'm going to turn sideways so I can better demonstrate. And sliding the hands down the insides of the legs, we can grab onto the ankles here. And we'll let gravity gently pull the knees open as the arms assist and gently press. So we're feeling a little stretch here in the inner thighs, the muscles of the groin. And now let's bring our internal awareness, our interoception, to the upper body, to the face, to the jaw, the neck, the shoulders. So the upper body is pretty relaxed. We're just using the arms to give a little pressure to the inner thighs. And remember what I said in the beginning about how our exhalations allow muscles to release tension. So let's focus on the inner hips and thighs as we breathe in and out. And as you breathe out, maybe we give a little extra pressure with the arms and see if we can let those muscles release. Now, if it feels like pain, it's time to back off a little bit, and only you know that. So yoga is an amazing practice to help you discover your own personal boundaries, not only physically, but also mentally. It's always interesting to note how we deal with adversity on the mat. Do we crumple? Do we get angry? Are we patient with ourselves? So it's an interesting self-reflection. How we react on the mat is often how we react in the rest of our lives, and it's a great way to practice changing some of those responses. So we'll take one more deep breath in and out here. If you want to come into full happy baby and lift the feet up, you're welcome to do that. Maybe rocking side to side. And then when you're ready, we can bring the feet back together, hands to the knees, knees together, and then your choice. We can draw opposing circles with the knees, or you can move the knees together in circles in the same direction. And whatever direction you started with, let's go ahead and switch the other way. Again, either opposite knees or knees together. Good, and hugging knees into the chest, we can rock out gently side to side, giving the lower back that nice little massage. We're going to come into a quick spinal twist and then a resting pose. So right knee extends down to the mat straight as you keep the left knee up in the chest. We'll place that left foot somewhere on the right leg, and the right hand, opposite hand, stays up as we extend the left arm out. A deep breath in to prepare. And exhale, pulling the knee across as we roll onto the right side, feeling the twist in the spine, and then turning the head in the opposite direction as though to look toward that extended arm. Now again, interoception is going to lead you here. So whatever it is that you feel in the body will help you determine what you're going to do next. If it feels good, stay there. Maybe go a little deeper. If it's feeling like pain, back off. One more deep breath in. And exhaling back to center. We can hug left knee followed by the right up into the chest. Resetting the low back as we rock gently side to side. Deep breath in and out. Left leg extends down. Right foot somewhere on top of that left leg. Left hand stays on the knee as we open the right arm out. 90 degrees from the body, palm up. Deep breath in here to prepare. And exhale, we'll pull that knee across as we roll to the left side now. Head turns to the right. So you may find that the twist is different on one side than the other. I worked at a very fancy country club for many, many years, and I worked with a lot of pro golfers. And because they're always swinging the club in one direction, they had a lot more rotation on one side than they did on the other. It's okay. No judgment, no criticism, just noticing, observing, and continuing this symmetrical practice to hopefully start to bring the body a little bit more into balance. We'll take one more deep breath in and out, and then rolling back to center, knees up into the chest, hugging in, rocking it out side to side. Yogi's choice. If there's anything else that you feel like you want to do in today's practice, please go ahead and bring yourself there. Just make sure that you're breathing deeply, that you are conscious, careful with your movements. If, like me, you are ready to relax, let's go ahead and extend the legs down. We can open up the feet a little bit so the legs look like an upside down V, and let the toes naturally roll out. Now we'll take the arms and kind of slide them down a little bit so the fingers are reaching closer to the feet. So we have a lot of space above the shoulders. And then you can slide the arms out slightly away from you, palms up. Or maybe it feels good to fold the hands in, one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. Maybe we'll rock the head and neck side to side. If you have a ponytail that's getting in your way, you can go ahead and pull it out. And then let the head come to rest in the center. So here's where we can take one more big deep breath in, filling the lungs, filling the belly. Release it with a sigh. And then start to transition the breathing to gentler, easier breaths. No more ha breathing. No more great effort. Just easy, gentle breaths in and out. Everything that happened before now stays where it is. Everything that happens later stays where it is. Using our interoception, noticing what we're feeling inside the body, the feeling of the body against the floor, all those contact points, the feeling of the breath in your nostrils and in your rib cage, maybe a little bit of light behind your eyelids. So much sensory input that we can stay anchored to keep us here in the present. Now, since you are in the comfort of your own home, you are welcome to stay here as long as you like. But in the interest of time and by trying to be punctual, I never really seem to make it. We're going to bring a little bit of movement back into the body now. So we'll wiggle fingers and toes. We'll move the head side to side, maybe lifting the arms above the head and stretching the toes below for a full body stretch. And starting to deepen the breath a little bit again, we can bring the knees up into the chest, hugging in. And this time, as we rock side to side, you can let that rocking motion take you all the way over to one side or the other, just lingering on your side for another breath or two. Maybe setting an intention to recognize all these tools that we use on the mat and know that they are in our toolbox to use whenever we need them off the mat. And again, if you want to stay in that resting pose, go for it. Otherwise, let's use the hands to help ourselves to an upright seated position, whatever is comfortable for you, cross-legged or legs straight or whatever. And as we root down through the parts of ourselves that are touching the ground, we can lengthen up through the spine. Sometimes I like to imagine a little string on the top of the head like a marionette pulling upward, and small weights on the shoulders pressing downward. We'll drop the chin to the chest. As we breathe in, we can roll the head over to the right. And as we breathe out, we can bring the chin back to center. And then breathing in, rolling the head over to the left. Breathing out back to center. Bringing our gaze somewhere forward, eyes cast downward or eyes closed. We can just take another few breaths here to really internalize all this peace and tranquility that we've created for ourselves. Reminding ourselves the behavior of others should not destroy our inner peace as we prepare to re-enter the rest of the world and interact with others. And then you can keep the hands where they are, or maybe it feels authentic for you to bring the palms together. Dropping chin to chest, we can seal our practice with a small bow in gratitude to ourselves and each other. Thank you so much for joining me today, everyone. It is so great to see you all. I'm going to grab my herbal hot cocoa and come on, slide in. So if anybody feels like they would like to unmute and chat, just say hello. Feel free if there's anything that you feel like sharing about how you feel or what you experienced during our practice, things you liked, challenges, something that you might like to see next time. Love to hear your feedback. Don't all speak up at once. Ha ha ha.
Did I read that next week is starting back? Is it next week?
So you did read that, and then I read the news and I realized we're not in phase 2 yet. So I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. So, you know, I did post that today was going to be the last Wednesday class, but I'm checking in with the studio
That's
owner.
okay.
You know, I know that she's got all kinds of hygiene changes and improvements, but you know, what I'm reading about droplets and enclosed spaces and all of that, I'm not sure. So yesterday I felt more sure. I did some more research. I'm not really sure. So can you stay tuned for more?
Sure.
You know, I will let you know, but either way, I'm going to be here on Wednesday or I'm going to be at the studio on Wednesday. So Wednesday, 9:30, you have an option with Jen from Inner Glow Wellness. I just don't know if it's going to be virtual or live.
No problem.
Thank
I'm
you.
not in a rush either.
Okay. All right, let's see. Seth is saying, I wish I lived down there, was able to join you live when things go back to normal. Me too, Seth. It's been such a pleasure having you in class. This has been really an amazing paradigm. So I gotta say, like, it's weird. I'm not gonna lie. It's really weird. Like being here with camera, I actually have lights. I have these like, you know, lights on stands over here to like illuminate me a little bit. So it looks like a photo studio in here. And on the days when I have fewer people, John and Seth, you've been like really committed. And so you've been here pretty much almost every time, but sometimes there's just one person and I'm still happy to be here, but the energy is different, right? When there's a group, the group energy, it's just amazing. And one of the things I really miss especially because I have you muted so that we don't distract each other, is that I can't hear you breathing. And this
Mhm.
power of a room full of people breathing together is just, I mean, it's really incredible. It's very moving, it's very powerful, and that is something that I miss a lot. And I'm not in a rush to go back. I want to make sure that everybody is safe and doing the right thing and all that. But not gonna lie, like I'm kind of grieving that loss a little bit. So it's great to see so many faces here today, though. I'm definitely vibing on the energy. Hey, you want to come say hi? This is my youngest, still in pajamas.
Hello.
So she's been really good and doing her own thing and going to school in her room. And we made a little list of like things you need to do until 10:30 when mommy is done. But if anybody else has anything else they'd like to share, please feel free. I really would love to hear your feedback. I'm here for you.
Good morning, Jen.
Okay.
This is Ann. You did a speech or a presentation for Holly's group last month, training, and I really enjoyed it. So I was hunting you down on the internet. So just thank you for
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much for being here. It's so wonderful to have you. I hope that your studies are going well. And if anybody needs to go, feel free to just go. You can just like
Okay.
give me a little wave and go.
Thank
You don't have to stick around. I hope that your studies are going well and you're able to get what you need out of your yoga teacher training, even without being live with the rest of your students and teacher.
Yeah, I think everybody's really trying to make the best of it. And it's more intensive than I thought it was going to be, but it's been an incredible journey so far.
Good. Well, I mean, this is all about personal growth. And, I used to work in corporate marketing in New York City over 20 years ago. And when I discovered yoga, I just completely shifted my life so that I could do this because I really believe in these tools for physical and mental liberation. I mean, it's incredible that they've been around for so many years and are still so relevant.
Well, I thought Holly recently had a journal on how our practices changed since we started the training and all, and what we attributed it to. And I've heard for so many years, the breath, the breath, the breath. And, Holly says it, Jeff says it, connect the breath, connect the breath. But what really honed in for me was when you had your conversation about the brain and the body and how to get your body back, the connection back. I thought, oh my God, the breath.
Yeah. So the breath is the connection for the mind and the body, for the internal and the external. I mean, every cell, every oxygen molecule that we breathe in from our external environment becomes a part of our cells. So when we say that we are interconnected with other people or with plants, I'm always telling my kids that what the plants breathe out is what we breathe in, and what we breathe out is what they breathe in. So plants and people were really made for each other. I cultivate a garden and we go out and we hug the trees, and I try to have time outside every day. So yeah, the breath is really, I mean, and the word yoga, means to yoke two things together, mind and body. And that connective factor is really the breath. So yeah, I mean, even quadriplegics can do yoga if they're breathing and focusing, right? There's 8 limbs. Movement is only one of them. So even though we do a lot of that in a class like this, there's so much more. And that's why I really focus on building the toolbox here on the mat so that we have tools that we can use outside in the rest of the world. Like I have some mental health patients as my students, not so much right now, but there's one lady in particular who has bipolar disorder, and she has learned how to assert and enforce personal boundaries at work based on what we do on the mat. Now she knows how to say no when they ask her to do extra work because it doesn't feel right. The same way that when we go into a hip stretch and she goes too deep, it doesn't feel right. So we learn where those personal limits are, and it just radiates outward from here on the mat.
Yeah, that's amazing. Absolutely amazing. So thank you. I really appreciate it. Great morning.
My pleasure. Thanks so much for being here. So I'm just reading the notes. Maybe Jen would consider a continued virtual class. Do you want to hear? Yeah, you can't hear what's going on. Help lower my blood pressure when I do stretches in the evening. I mean, all of this is amazing, right? It is amazing stuff. So thank you all for your support. If you are inclined to make a donation, those links are on my Instagram or Facebook in my bio. There's like a link tree with different links that you can make, because not gonna lie, my income is taking a big hit right now. If you can't, that's okay too. That's why I offer it this way, because I don't want to be stingy with my gifts. But I look forward to seeing you. Next class online is going to be Saturday, 11 a.m. I'm going to try something new. I'm going to try like an interval cardio yoga. I'm really not one who's into the fusion, but honestly, I've been doing a lot of like cardio workouts in the backyard and incorporating some yoga, and it's kind of fun. So I thought I would just offer that, see how people feel about it. All right, any parting thoughts? We're good. Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Seth. Have a great rest of your week. I'll see you soon. Bye.